I have not talked to Carol all night. Carol, how are you?
Oh, poor Carol. But she taught middle school-age me that you wait until the third date before popping the question. Or 4 years, whichever. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Family Guy. Or more specifically, Carol Pewterschmidt, Lois's often not seen sister. Kitty, you're forgetting something. Oh yeah, I don't mean Carol Pewterschmidt, I mean... Carol Johnson Carrington Stone O'Craggedy Conseco Steinholtz Washington Proudfoot Fong West Pewterschmidt.
I mean, look at your track record. 9 divorces. Do you really enjoy being Carol Pewterschmidt Johnson Carrington Stone O'Craggedy Conseco Steinholtz Washington Proudfoot Fong?
Oh my god, it's worse than Hollyhock. At least Hollyhock has 2 Mannheims, so it's easier to remember. Now, in Family Guy, the Pewterschmidt family is often a focal point of many episodes, and they get more focus than Peter's own extended family, except for all of the ancestors who he may or may not be related to, considering the retcon that his real birth father is Mickey McFinnigan, and not Francis Griffin. But I feel like we get a good deal of focus with the Pewterschmidts, and I hate to say it, they're more interesting than the Griffin relatives. Velma is just a horrible mother who gambles and drinks, like every other sitcom grandmother. While Francis, admittedly, I like the episodes where he appears, but his only noteworthy trait is that he's a Catholic who hates non-Catholics. Mickey seems like he'd be a cool character to explore, what with Ireland the town drunk being like a local hero, but he only appears once. Babs had to repress her Jewish heritage to please Carter. Carter is a horrible man but a great-grandfather, as in a cool grandpa. Patrick is a serial killer who targets overweight men due to trauma that happened when he was a child. And Carol, well, she's known for having a ton of husbands, which is still pretty interesting, since unlike Constance Hatchaway, she doesn't murder them, and I like Carol for it. I mean, we have the same hair and crazy noses. Kinship. I've wanted to make a video on Carol for a while, and going through her episodes, I realized that I kinda have a problem with her. Well, it's a small problem. While Patrick is an interesting character in his own right, despite its limited screen time, Carol is too much of a satellite character, or a plot device. As in, she only exists to revolve around other characters. Which sucks because I feel like the idea of a woman who is married almost a dozen times would be a cool idea. Even in her own episode, it's just about how others relate to her, like Lois versus Peter. Good thing Brothers and Sisters kind of redeems her. Kinda. But let's discuss. Carol is Lois's sister, and her most noteworthy trait is that she has gotten her heart broken way too many times, as she falls head over heels for the first guy to show her any kind of affection, and then rushes straight forward into marriage. We first meet her in A Mission Impossible, where she's in the final days of her pregnancy, and her husband left her.
Peter, listen to me. My sister just called. Her baby's due any day now, and Ted just walked out on her.
Whoa, back it up. You have a sister?
So I'm guessing, considering Brothers and Sisters, that he was Ted Proudfoot, just in last name order. I have no clue how multiple last names actually work. As she's alone, Peter and Lois go to support her, as obviously her parents can't just come to help despite having the money and the resources. But Peter doesn't want to go at first. He has better stuff to do.
Alone in that big house?
Wait a minute, Carol. She the one with the jacuzzi and the pool table?
Yeah.
Yeah, I better come with you.
Good. That stuff actually sounds kind of awesome sauce. Thankfully, Quagmire is on hand to babysit, and in spite of Megan's Law, which is actually started in New Jersey, he has plenty of fun activities for the kids to do.
An unsharpened pencil?
Check.
A speed limit sign?
Check.
Your mom's hairbrush?
Check.
You win!
Oh boy, what's my prize?
A pencil and a speed sign.
I did it!
That actually sounds kind of fun!
A couple of teeth and some toenail clippings and we'll be ready for our date.
Ew. So, let's go to Carol.
In a few days, you'll have a beautiful baby and you can smother it with all your unrequited love.
And as soon as the baby can crawl, it'll probably leave me too. Just like my 8 husbands.
Alright, I think by now you've noticed the voice change. In this episode, Carol is voiced by Carol Kane, which I think explains the name, that's kinda cute. Whereas in other episodes, she's voiced by Julie Haggerty. Now, no disrespect to Carol Kane. I liked her in Billy and Mandy, I liked her in Kimmy Schmidt, I even liked her in Star Vs. But as Carol Pewterschmidt, I think Julie embodies her better. It matches the idea of Carol being a lost romantic. Like, her voice is a good pull between meek and insecure. I hate to put it that way. I could see that version of Carol getting into multiple failed marriages. Whereas this Carol, yeah, she sounds more like my great aunt. Carol Kane, I just think the problem is the voice she used was way too deep, or older than it should be. It was good for a one-time character, but going forward, yeah, I much appreciate Julie. Still, a moment I do like is how Peter and Carol act towards each other, and I wish they focused on this more.
Peter, sit with Carol. I'm gonna use the ladies' room.
Does she still take the newspaper in there?
Ugh, yeah. And after she does, I just can't read it.
They have such a cute relationship, like how Peter is the only person who manages to make Carol laugh in spite of how depressed she's been feeling lately.
Hey, Carol, it's me, Ted. Listen, I came back because I love you, and,
Oh, it was so nice of you to come, Peter. You're so considerate.
Or how, in other episodes, he's the only one willing to support her. Really, this needs to be stated more. Peter can be a pretty caring brother-in-law when he wants to be. Unfortunately, Carol goes into labor way too quickly, and they have to drive her to the hospital. But first, you gotta stop on the way for food, because hospital food is super gross and tiny portioned like you're in prison. Except for the mashed potatoes, those are pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have 3 cheeseburgers.
Peter, for God's sake, she's having a baby.
Oh, that's right. And a kid's meal. And, I guess I'll have fries.
If I ever get pregnant, I want this to happen to me. Come on, you could stop on the way to the hospital. Stephanie Beatrice recorded waiting on a miracle while she went into labor.
Nurse, this woman is in labor.
Excuse me, I was here first. My leg is asleep.
Thankfully, they get her to the hospital, but Dr. Hartman is the, I don't know how to pronounce this, obstetrician. Okay, there we go. He's the obstetrician, and he faints, so Peter has to deliver the baby while Lois is on doula duty. They're successful, and Carol has a boy, who Peter bonds with in the few seconds he knows him.
Welcome to the planet Earth. Hey, he takes after his Uncle Peter.
Peter, he's Carol's baby. Give him to her.
Yeah.
Aw, that's actually kinda cute. But this is where the problem with Carol starts. See, the idea of Lois and Peter having to look after Carol while she's pregnant and teaching her perhaps she doesn't need a man to help her raise her baby, she can do it all on her own, that could have been a good plot line. But like most Family Guy episodes, it just leads into the main plot of the episode, that being Lois and Peter trying to have another baby, but getting thwarted.
Let's steal it.
What?
No, wait. I got a better idea. Lois, let's have another baby. The best thing I've ever done with my life is being a dad.
Which, no disrespect to the episode, I love it. It's one of my personal favorites. And the plot line about Stewie meeting Bertram and realizing he likes the idea of having a baby brother, I find it oddly sweet.
10 seconds to re-expansion.
I guess this is goodbye for now.
But I feel like the Carol idea could have been a whole episode. She's an interesting character, after all, with a cool backstory. Not to mention her son, well, let's just say that kind of like Mickey McFinnigan, we never see him again. Nor do we even find out his name, like at least we know Mickey's name. Like, I have so many questions. Is he living with his father? Could Carol not care for him and put him up for adoption, which could have been another point in Lois's favor in Brothers and Sisters? Like, I thought his mother was a plot device. Thankfully, we have brothers and sisters to make up for it. Out of the blue one day, Peter and Lois get a call that Carol's newest husband, Jason Fong, that's the most recent last name, left her and she's going to be divorced for the 9th time.
Carol, how the hell are you?
Not too good. Jason left me. It's gonna be my 9th divorce.
Yeah, just hanging out.
Peter.
Well, good thing she's rich, or at least has rich parents, because divorce is expensive, I hear. Just saying, I for one have never gotten divorced. I just assume Carol goes into these situations with a prenup in hand. I like the headcanon that Carter makes her. Peter notes the conflict of this episode, or at least the side he'll take, that when push comes to shove, he'll support Carol, not because he personally cares about her, even though he kinda does, but because he wants a sibling of his own.
Boy, Carol's lucky to have a sister like Lois.
You're telling me. I always wanted a brother or sister, but instead I got a broster.
Say something. We don't talk about Karen Kitty, sorry. It's true. She's right, I hated that episode. As far as I know, either the episode didn't happen, or she's a random lady who thinks she's Peter's sister, and the Griffins just don't have the heart to tell her. That's exactly what happened, and you can't tell me otherwise. Carol comes to stay with the Griffins until she gets back on her feet, which unfortunately means somebody has to give up their room, as nobody wants to sleep on the couch, even though I do that like every single night. Wait, do people actually do that? As in giving up their rooms when like a relative or a guest comes over? Because I never had to actually do that. And since Stewie is the youngest, he is forced to give up his room.
What the devil? What's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry, Stewie. Your Aunt Carol's gonna be staying with us for a little while, so she's gonna need your room.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Wait, but there's like no bed, so where's she gonna sleep? In order to stay with Peter and Lois. Oh my god, it's a fate worse than death. At least nobody goes to the living room at night, and you have the good TV and the kitchen right there. On the bright side, at least Peter is trying to be a good father, emphasis on tries.
You want to play with one of Daddy's sharks?
What do I want to... No, what? No, what an odd request. Ah!
There you go. Create an adventure with that.
Oh, that is gross, Peter. You create an adventure with that. Sorry, I do like that line, though. Carol comes over, and the first guy she meets is Quagmire. As we all know, Quagmire hates most relationships with people that aren't Joan or Sonia, so we can't just pair up the spares in this case. Plus, Quagmire likely realizes how much of a pain it would be to get her into bed, unlike her niece, and what would happen if he gets her into bed and then doesn't date her. So he bolts like the dog in that one movie.
And there's so much more to life than that.
20 feet that way, please.
Anybody remember that movie? Like, I think I saw it when I was like 7 or 8. It always felt like a fever dream. God, I'm old. But Carol comes in and makes everybody sad like a miasma cloud.
Now just don't use it to comb your hair and make promises to women you won't keep.
Well, damn. Hopefully she doesn't realize she reproduced with her birth giver, sired some weird incest baby, and then pokes her eyes out in retribution, but that could explain why we never see her son. But Lois explains Carol's problem to the kids.
She has such low self-esteem that every time a man shows her the slightest glimmer of attention, she rushes into something serious and gets her heart broken like a teenage girl.
Kinda wish they did more with Quagmire in this case. Like, what if some or more of those guys just wanted Carol for that one reason, and one reason only, her body or her looks? But because they showered her with attention, she assumed it was a romantic connection and reciprocated, even if that wasn't their intention, hence the short marriages. Like, with her baby daddy, maybe it was a shotgun wedding, hence why he left his pregnant wife so quickly, but she just thought they were in love, not that he felt like he had to do the right thing. Or what if some of those men start off as a shoulder for her to cry on after a quick divorce, and then it morphs into a romantic connection, because she doesn't know the meaning of the word speed. Like, maybe after that whole honeymoon phase stops, they just divorce her because what else are they supposed to do? Like, maybe she mistakes it all for romantic connections, not somebody trying to be nice. Just saying, one problem I have with the episode is Carol doesn't really have to deal with that problem. She says she has a problem, and to be fair, she does have to confront it, but she never deals with it going forward, like, I'm gonna work on myself and do this. They just give her a new husband out of the blue and say, this time we swear it'll be different. And that husband turns out to be Mayor Adam West, who literally appears on the Griffin family doorstep like a teenage girl's storked baby.
I'm being a rascal and ringing people's doorbells and running away.
Then what are you still doing here?
It's my first house. I'm not very good at this.
Maybe it's not so contrived. I mean, it's an in-character reason for him to be there. He and Carol meet and seem to hit it off. Even if, and the episode doesn't point it out, I'd argue there's a bit of an age gap going on. Like, Adam West, while we don't know the age of his character, because he's based on the real Adam West, and the real Adam West was 83, I'd assume he's probably in that age range. And as for Carol, because she's Lois's sister, and Lois is like in the 40 range, I'd assume Carol is near that too, especially considering the perm. So she's basically gonna be dating somebody old enough to be her father, or even older than her own father. Wow, like I thought the Mariana Trench or the Delaware Water Gap were huge. No, this is a huge gap. I probably shouldn't talk. My boyfriend is 10 years older than me, and I find it weird if my SO is any degree younger than I am, even by like a day or a minute. I don't know why, I just do. But he charms Carol and invites her to...
Dang, who invented this thing?
I bet you say that to all the girls.
Only the ones I'm about to ask to friendlies for a fribble.
Okay, I don't know if he's being serious because I for one do love friendlies, or if it's a euphemism a la Netflix and chill, but Lois advises against this.
Carol, given your present situation, it's possible that Dayton might not be such a good idea right now.
Actually, Lois, I think it's exactly what I need.
Which, even though the episode makes her out to be a villain, I can understand considering the pattern of Carol's many failed marriages. Like, what if she goes out with Mayor West and then a year later goes on Lois's doorstep and cries, "Lois, this is my 10th divorce!" But Carol goes on a rebound. Talk about clumsy. Because that is always a great idea right after you go through a messy divorce and have nowhere to stay or go. I mean, after your dog dies, you should totally buy another one like a day after the cremation. And better yet, it should be the same breed with the same name, because talk about like different individuals. But Carol and Adam do go on their date, and it seems to be going pretty well. I even like this little joke.
That was a great idea you had about walking parallel to the water. It makes for a longer walk.
See? We're already making each other better people.
Even if they do the stupid eye close thing, smile, lean in thing, and then they kiss. But granted, there is a potential deal breaker.
I've got AIDS.
What?
Yeah, they're right over there waiting for me.
Ready to go when you are, sir.
Poor guys, they both have AIDS.
Not okay!
I know, dude. South Park did it first. AIDS for everyone. They have a great day, and when they get home, Adam proposes. Wait, what?
Yes, Adam, I will.
Carol, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You can't just jump right back into...
Lois, this is my life, and this is what I want.
Okay, I remember when I saw this the first time as a kid, I thought they were dating for like a week or two. Because like, even though that'd be kind of rushed, it'd still be dating for some time. But no, it's literally like one date. Like they know each other for like an hour, couple hours tops. And I hate to say it, but I kind of side with Lois this time around. Like I really hate to say it. You guys know how I feel about Lois. Carol has had 9 failed marriages. 9. A baby she never sees. And almost immediately after getting divorced, she's jumping into another Shark Tank. Really, I don't think this chick needs another marriage or another man. She needs a therapist. Not to mention, she doesn't know Mayor West all that well. Again, they literally only had one date. This could be dangerous. And again, it kind of makes you wonder if Carol did it with her other husbands. Went out to a restaurant with them one time, believed it was a sure thing, had a love at first sight, lean in head tilt, and then married like 2 weeks after a super quick courtship.
Look, I know I have a bit of a checkered past, but I believe in love at first sight.
Sweetie, don't make me break out the Garnet clip.
Love at first sight doesn't exist. Love takes time, and love takes work. At the very least, you have to know the other person.
Yeah, you listen to Garnet Lady. Lois tells Peter about the marriage idea, and Peter can't be bothered to care because if Carol marries Adam, he'll have a brother-in-law, which in a way is kind of like having a real brother without the blood, but not really. And since Peter and Adam are kind of a similar mindset, they find it fun they get to be glorified playmates together.
5 points, I win.
That's not fair. You weren't touching the bush.
I was too touching the bush. Oh, cool. This rock has mica.
Let me see.
Don't touch it. It's worth money.
Even if he had a brother-in-law, like multiple times, considering how many marriages Carol had, or is it not the same? Just saying. Later on, we do find out Peter hated most of her ex-husbands, or at least the first 2, so maybe that's part of it. But no offense, dude, I'm sorry. Like, not getting along with your brother? That's what brothers are like. Still, it's kind of funny watching this episode because Peter and Adam are so cute together. Like, I wish we got more moments like this.
I didn't know you rode bikes.
I didn't know you rode bikes.
Let's go butts up and fast.
Oh no! Patch of sand!
To celebrate the engagement, they have dinner at Adam's house, which is the same shallow and pedantic dinner the Griffins are used to. Meatloaf, or some kind of meat, mashed potatoes, and peas. Ugh. Shallow and pedantic. Are you really gonna talk down to everybody just because you're making a Family Guy video? Perhaps. But Adam has to ruin it by being Adam, and not the cool Adam that exterminates souls because he's an incel.
Actually, I was worried you'd say Beetlejuice 3 times. Because if you say Beetlejuice 3 times, then oh, that was a close call.
Ugh, how dare you forego having BJ attend your dinner party? Dude, come on, he's the ghost with the most. I'm sure he'd be a good host. He makes everything the most, including this boring dinner party with the shallow and pedantic food. Kitty, why don't you just take the MacArthur Genius Grant test? I don't know how to.
Oh, Carol, I would never miss any of your Meet the Fiancé dinners. This is the 10th one.
Lois once again continues her charade, while Carol continues to tell her that this time is different, even though Carol probably said that literally every single time before that. Like, you kind of realize patterns after a while. So to prove a point, Lois invites several of Carol's ex-husbands, such as her first one, Evan Johnson, because last names, who likes Red Sox, to show her the problem.
We bonded over the Red Sox one time, and now he's got to bring it up every time I see him.
How about those Red Sox, Peter?
Yeah, how about him, Evan? They exist.
How about last season, huh?
Yeah.
See, Peter, it's your brother. You're supposed to fight with your brother, and then forget 5 minutes later what you were even fighting about in the first place. It's just what happens. And then Randall Carrington, who bears both baggage and tropical fish with no food.
Now, you gotta feed him every 2 hours, and I fed him an hour ago.
All right, you got the food?
No, I don't have the food. You get that at a tropical fish store.
It's 9:30 at night.
Wait, did he win them at a carnival or something, and he didn't want to tell Peter the truth? Apparently they still do stuff like that. I saw one the other day. But I had one as a kid, and it lived for like 6 years. Still, I have a question. Is Peter supposed to wake up every 2 hours to feed them? Like, I thought newborns were sleep stealers. But considering this cutaway, hopefully it will all pay off one day.
Don't worry, Fish. I'm gonna take care of you. Because I know one day you'll do the same for me.
I don't care what it costs. Just make this man well again.
Thank you, Fish.
Finally, because of Rule of 3, we get Carol's third husband, Doggy Daddy. Doggy Daddy Stone? I don't think he has a last name, to be honest. I googled and everything.
But you couldn't make it work because he had that son from a previous marriage.
Hey, Carol.
Oh, hey.
Augie's out of the house, so I'm around.
But why did you leave him? He's so cute. Plus, you eventually have a kid that would make for a creative sitcom like The Cleveland Show. Still, I wish we got to see all of her husbands, plus the most recent dude who dumped her at the beginning, because I might be repeating myself, but I feel like that would have explained Carol's problem with men. That way, she doesn't make that same mistake with Mayor West. Maybe she is the problem, not them. Like Taylor Swift said, it's me. I'm the problem, it's me. Well, I mean, she probably is, considering it's been nearly 10 times. Like, 1 time or even 2 times is enough. Or she has a weakness for a certain type of guy, and Adam just happened to fall into that category. Like, again, Carol kinda needs therapy, I hate to say. Well, I mean, we all do need therapy, but her especially. Carol wants Lois to stop, but Lois finally asks her, can she really take more heartbreak? If Adam breaks up with her one more time, will she be able to handle it?
Look at these men. Are you psychologically able to deal with this pain a 10th time?
Oh my God. Lois, you're right.
There you go. So she tells Adam she can't marry him, since she doesn't want to hurt herself or him again.
I can't marry you.
What? But Carol.
I'm so sorry, Adam.
Wait, but this is weird. Even if I feel like they probably shouldn't get married, why not just call up the engagement and continue to date like they already are? Since they don't really know each other and they rushed into that way too fast. Just saying, like, there's no reason. Like, you could just continue dating the other person. And in the meantime, Carol can work on herself, like getting counseling, so that she doesn't experience any more heartbreak. Or if she does break up with Mayor West, she won't come back to the Griffin household projecting her feelings onto Chris like she did last time. But no, because we need a commercial break closer, they break up, and it's tragic, kind of, not really.
I think you should go now, Lois.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel that upset when there's other solutions to this problem, and I hate how the episode says it's all or nothing. Like, it's really not. Really, they should have used dramatic irony. Like, perhaps Lois didn't mean, you can't be with Mayor West, so dump his ass, sister. She meant, you're in a relationship, not on the turnpike, so take things slow. It could be Carol who thinks she meant, I can't be with you and that's that. Really, that could have been a good route to go down, considering turnpike, so The next day, Carol is upset and still reeling from the breakup.
Just give yourself some time and I'm sure you'll feel much better about it.
She says that to Meg a lot, so that's not good.
Well, sorry, Stewie, but at least she didn't tell Carol to read the bell jar and take a bottle of Ambien and then look the other way and said whatever happens, happens. Adam goes to meet with the Griffins to tell them that he's going to Alaska and leaving his post as mayor, even though he should probably be going to Gotham City, so like, New Jersey, come on Adam, we'll love to have you. All because Carol broke up with him.
I'm stepping down as mayor and leaving Quahog forever.
Because of Carol?
That's right. I've decided to move to Alaska and become an Eskimo.
Wow, and I thought Carol needed help. Like, seriously? Plus, I was gonna make a joke about Mayor West's newest profession, but some of you said I am allowed to say that word while others said no. Therefore, to compromise, I will say he wants to be like Heather Duke. Let's hope that when he gets to Alaska, he gets to rub noses with Jesus. Still, I applaud him. I've always wanted to visit Alaska, or at least Anchorage. It's just, I feel like it'd be way too cold or expensive, or I can't think of anything good there to do. Are there any cons to attend? Peter is upset too and decides to run away.
I'm running away!
Why?
Because you took away my brother! You ruined my life! Adam and I were gonna be brothers forever, and now he's gone!
Wow, everybody's running away. It's like that one episode of Bob's Burgers. Who's next? Stewie? Brian? Herbert, because Chris won't return his perverted affections? Peter says that nobody ever supported his marriage, but somebody did support them. Carol.
My God, if it wasn't for her support, I don't know that I would have had the confidence to marry you. And now that she needs my support, here I am abandoning her.
Well, to be fair, the difference was they just didn't like Peter because he was poor. He was still a good guy in spite of that back then. You have legitimate reasons to distrust Carol's union, and like I said, it doesn't have to be marriage, it could just be plain old dating. Like, why can't it just be that? Do they not want to write 2 Carol episodes or something? Like, honestly, they could just end the episode with the 2 deciding to take things slow, and then like a season or 2 later, they get a card in the mail saying it's time for the wedding. Really, all of this seems like kind of an overreaction. They chase Adam down to the airport, likely bypassing TSA because it always works when you're in the cartoons, but they're too late. Lois apologizes for their part in this.
I am so sorry, you guys. This is all my fault.
You think? Well, not really, I'm sorry. It's complicated, I just like to joke. Peter calls up Quagmire to go drink, who says that he can't do it because he's on a flight to Alaska, which is coincidentally the same plane that Adam is on, because there obviously can't be more than one plane to the same destination. Plus, Alaska is kind of huge, no offense, but as Quagmire cannot turn the plane around without a legitimate reason, Peter lies and says that if he doesn't come home right now, well, there was a cat who just had babies, and Brian will eat them if he doesn't land.
Yeah, and I gotta go to work now, so I hope he's not, like, hungry or nothing.
This is your captain speaking. We've discovered a shoe bomb on board. We're gonna have to return to the terminal.
Oh my god, if I were on that plane, I would hate Peter and Lois. Making me miss my flight and my travel plans just because of kittens. Aww. Carol and Adam reunite with a grand reunion, and they marry in a church. Okay, no offense, this is just a joke. I don't mean it like as a nitpick or a criticism. Like, are they Protestant or Catholic? Because some episodes Lois is like either or. Can Protestants get married if they're divorced? I really have no idea how that works, but I do like the vows.
Milk, butter, cat food, those new potato chips in the snack aisle.
Adam, I think that's your shopping list.
No, they're all the reasons why I'll always love you.
Oh, that's cute. I should steal that if I ever get married. But it seems like Lois was right, considering Valentine's Day in Quahog, because it's not all sunshine, lollipops, and batarangs and rainbows for this couple. Adam finds out that Carol is acting as First Lady, as in just acting as First Lady and likely not doing the nasty, to some other mayor. Oh my god, that's like doing the nasty. For reasons. Reasons we never hear. Wow, to think for once she's the unfaithful one. That's kind of hilarious.
I trust you'll take care of things here in my absence. Officer down!
But upon finding out, rather than get upset, he swears he'll win her back.
The chair recognizes your face!
Adam!
Well, well, well. If it isn't Mayor Guns for Toys West.
I like that name. What's my name? Do I have a cool name like that? Does Mama Kitty count? I don't think it does. They fight and Carol apologizes and their union seems to be assured. But then Adam dies. Mostly because the real-life Adam West died. Gone but not forgotten.
So I'm here to ask you to make me the mayor of your town. Vote for me, Adam West. It'll be a home run.
And we get one last scene with Carol, where we learn that she's still grieving, but since the position of mayor is still open, she wants Brian to run for mayor, as she thinks that he can take over Adam's legacy.
Although crazier things have happened. Harry Truman didn't have any experience.
Of course he did. He was vice president and before that, a United States senator.
Oh, word?
Ugh, and I thought she had poor taste when it came to choosing husbands. And where is Carol now, you might ask? In the same void as the kid she once had. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. She really hasn't appeared after this. Did she get Adam's inheritance and then, ran away to Alaska? Honestly, she's probably gone until the writers remember she exists and they want to use her again. Which is kind of weird. I guess it's because her only real purpose is to marry a guy and then get her heart broken. Honestly, I hate to say it, I thought she would marry Adam's new cousin, aka the new Mayor West. That way they could still keep her around. I'm sorry if I keep gushing, I love Mayor West 2.0, and I feel like Carol is one of those people who changes her personality based on who she's dating. Imagine that, oh, you remind me so much of your cousin, and then yeehaw, little doggies. Only good thing I can say is Carol didn't lose Adam on her own by just being Carol or making a mistake or signing the wrong paper. He died of natural causes, I'm assuming, therefore it's really nobody's fault. But to be fair, the real Adam West died of leukemia, but the way the show portrays it, I wouldn't be surprised if he just died in his sleep or something.
We still can't believe he's gone. He was such a great mayor and a great uncle to the kids.
Wait, Uncle Adam is dead? Eesh, how many people has this show killed?
Which I think is a pretty fitting end. He even got the high school named after him.
As we honor one of Quahog's finest citizens, we will start today's ceremony with the traditional 21-cat launcher salute to honor our wacky but beloved mayor.
Just saying, say what you want about Family Guy. When longtime characters who aren't Loretta are killed off, especially when their actors die in real life, they'll go above and beyond to honor them, like they did with Carrie Fisher and like they're doing here. And I can respect that. Still, Carol is an interesting character, and I wish she comes back one day, even if she looks like Lois with a perm. I mean, she never interacted with her brother. OMG, imagine that episode. Carol comes back, and now she's married to an overweight guy, and perhaps Patrick's subconscious breaks. Pow, right in the kisser. Anyhow, bye.
Peter, I'm so happy for the both of them.
Hey, I just realized I have a sister.
Ha! Stand much?